Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, Brian the Floridian, coming to you from St. Augustine, Florida. Gonna check out this place behind me. It's called the Fountain of Youth. One of the oldest landmarks here in the United States, right behind me. Let's go through the gates and check it out. I want you guys to follow me. There's a main gate into the park, and there's some markers right here on the outside of the park. Talks about the actual park and the landmark. So this park commemorates the 1513 arrival of Juan Ponce De Leon in Florida, and the legend of the Fountain of Youth, which he came here for, searching. And reading information on the sign that there was actually a mission that was built, that was established here, and also where he met the Indians, the first Indians, I believe, right here. And next to the other sign is another marker which talks about the first Spanish muster site in Florida. Established in 1565, September. So this is outside. Outside the actual Fountain of Youth is all these tree-lined streets, and I imagine some of these oak trees have been here for probably quite some time. Up and down the front of the Fountain of Youth landmark right here as you kind of drive in, and there's a parking lot. It's open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Alright, just got my ticket for the Fountain of Youth. I'm going to take a walk through here and see what we can find in this place. A little photo opportunity when you walk in with a Spaniard. Get a picture with a Spaniard and a peacock. Got some peacocks right there in this middle of this little tropical garden. And this one just being smart, actually being in the shade, just chilling out. It is hot and humid here in Florida, so definitely not a dumb bird. Pretty smart bird, if you ask me. Alright guys, so first off the bat is where we stop at, the actual Fountain of Youth. Inside, world famous. It's actually in a house, spring house.
You can actually drink from that water. Oh, just one drink.
So this is the actual fountain right here. Spring was discovered in 1513, recorded as a landmark in Spanish grant. So the water is so pure you can actually drink out of it, or drink it. some information about the actual spring. It's like an old school sign. That's an actual one of the old pictures of the spring. So when the Spaniards landed here, the actual Indians that were here were the Tumaco Indians under Chief Soloy. They lived at the site for 3,000 years.
Like any other water.
Alright, I'm gonna take one. Take my sip of this Fountain of Youth elixir right here. Alright, here we go. A little bit sulfur tasting, but not bad. Hopefully I'll gain a few years younger from drinking this. We'll see. Hopefully this is the actual water from the Fountain of Youth. But highly doubt it though. I don't think it would taste this bad. It's not the worst water I've ever had, but not the best. But not too bad. It's just an experience. And so here's a painting that shows that period when Ponce De Leon found the Fountain of Youth. Some famous people that came by here. It's like some Spanish conquistador helmets right there. And from this little display, you can actually buy the water if you want to from their gift shop. They have it bottled up and ready to sell in their gift shop, but this is just a display case. Some old school bottles right there. Some of the items they found here at the site. It's like a big, huge agave plant throughout this whole park. There's one right there. And that's where I just came from, right in there. So here's a shot of inside the park. There's the actual Fountain of Youth right in that building right over there. A bunch of little placards here, historic little markers about the life of living here in St. Augustine and the early settlers and Indians. Timucua Indians, that's what I'm gonna say. If I'm saying it right, that's what they were, the ones that actually lived around here. And these were the Indians that Ponce De Leon first made contact with in the New World. Some old school cannons right there, some old school pottery. Interesting fact, this place marks the site of an ancient Indian village called Saloy in the 16th century. And that placard says, and they were actually here way before the Spaniards landed here in 1513. Way before that. So a lot of cool looking history I'm reading around this park. So these big clay pots are actually called tunajones, from what this sign says, and they were placed around the grounds as early Spanish water urns called tunagones to catch the rainwater, and also they were buried halfway underground to keep the water cool. There's a bunch more around this park right there. Right there next to the agave plants. So there's a statue right behind a sign of Chief Saturawa. Very prominent figure with the early settlers here. So it talks about several of the plants that are around this area, including this palm plant, Kunti. You'll see these markers all over the park right here, as well as these signs where they show excavation of Native Americans, I believe. Some more signage about the building materials of early construction for the settlers. You'll see like a lot of this tabby on like a lot of these buildings around here, especially right here on this fence. Right there's a tabby, and a coquina, which is right there. Historic Spanish cannon called Long 9, circa 1750, made out of iron. You can fire a 9-pound iron ball, maximum range of 3 miles. Pretty impressive. So we're going to walk into this building, which is the burial grounds, the Native Indians.
The first successful colonial cultural interaction between advanced European and the North American Aboriginal culture. Thus, the beginning of recorded United States colonial history. welcome. They were looking to set up camp and excavated some 47 Catholic burials of Colonial Indians. He determined these Indian internments were of the first Spanish occupational period, occurring while this portion of the Indian town was occupied as the first colony of St. Augustine. The remains, which are buried just a few feet below the sand before you, had been on no weapons were found on this site, only pottery bits and beads, some of which are on display in our museum. Subsequent archaeological digs.
So they found the skeletons here and they reburied them in 1991 to honor and protect the remains of the first American Indians.
To organize farming, fishing, and military.
Bury them under Catholic and Native American rituals.
Within a strictly structured social order.
Picture of all the skeletons I found here, the graves.
From 1565 to 1763. From the artifacts excavated, the cultural interactions are now being investigated between two extremely diverse cultures.
So a little bit of information about the Timucuan Indians. I think I'm saying it right. About how they lived here in this village. And there's some houses right there of the Indians. Some reenactment houses there. We're going to go check out right now. So here's a canoe, or the mode of transportation they used back when they lived here. It's like they basically dug it out of a tree trunk. Looks like a lot of work to do that too. Some of the houses they lived in are on display right here. Looks like different styles. Some of these have walls on them. This is the inside of, I imagine this is probably one of the nicer ones. If you were Indian, you can build yourself right here. Got some walls in there. And it does feel a little bit cooler in here when you're in the shade. It's like some various alligator, looks like an alligator skin right there. Possibly a panther skin. Little place to put your lantern to light up your house if you wanted to, I imagine.
Yeah, you'll see if she wants to go over or give her a break.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna definitely see if she'll take a lunch though.
Yeah.
I think she might. So usually she takes about 45 minutes.
So different show times here, as listed right here on the sign. And hopefully I'll catch a show pretty soon. There's some things right here at the back of the park to go check out. So this sign I'm reading right here is actually talks about St. Augustine's workboat. It was called a chalupa, a Spanish chalupa, and it was wrecked in 1565, the same time that St. Augustine founded the settlement here in St. Augustine, Florida. So 1565, can you imagine this boat is that old? Hard to believe it standing the test of time this long. So this placard commemorates the site of the first fort, San Juan de Peños, which was built by Pedro Menendez de Valles in 1565, destroyed 21 years later by Sir Francis Drake in 1586. I believe who was a famous pirate. Some old cannons here from the 17th and 18th century. Looks like some really old cannons for sure, as you can tell by the corrosion on them. Alright, let's go up this tower, observation tower, take a look. Alright, the very top. It's a big giant cross right there, off in the distance. It's like another historical marker right here, right on the water's edge, overlooking the bay. And that's where I was a minute ago. I went up that tower. Here's a statue of Ponce De Leon. Called the governor of San Juan. He was born in 1460. Actually, San Juan was Puerto Rico. Made the first recorded voyage to the United States or North America.
This time, 140 in all, but Nombre de Dios remained constant. Even after the English raids from 1702 to 1706, which wiped out the entire mission chain in La Florida, only Nombre de Dios survived the onslaught of attacks. This replica of Nombre de Dios serves as a reminder of the sacrifice and service that these brave priests brought to the New World.
So this is a replica of the original mission church that was right here, standing right here on this exact spot. '70s British anchor right there. It's pretty cool. It's like it's slowly becoming a part of that tree right behind it. This guy's just chilling right here underneath the shade. Here's a copper cauldron possibly from the 1500s. You can tell by the varnish on it. Very, very lots of varnish. So I would believe it is that time period. But they may use it for storing whale oil. Probably other things like water, I imagine, too. Alright guys, that's going to do it for the video. Thanks for joining me on my little visit here to the Fountain of Youth here right here in St. Augustine, Florida. Hit like, subscribe if you like this video. And I will do more little places around Florida as I come along, exploring, driving all over through Florida, stopping at different places. But definitely a cool place to see if you're ever in St. Augustine. I think it was like $19.95 for a ticket, but definitely worth it if you want to see some history. A lot of old Florida, old town, old world history behind me. But guys, thanks for walking around with me, and I will see you guys later. Take care.